Hello, how's it going? So, today what we're going to do is the replay review for Timchewbarker and Smitzelvoncrum, the Aussie boys themselves, the guys that some people would call the best players of Rocket League and all of OCE. So it's going to be a replay 2v2, roughly champ 1 level, and we're going to see a lot of nice plays, some nice passing plays. Um, as well as some whiffs here and there. Beautiful kickoffs by Tim, less beautiful kickoffs by Smitzel. We'll see how it goes. And yeah, without further ado, let's get it going. So, with this first kickoff coming through, we got a nice come in by Tim. He gets a nice clean win on the ball, which is awesome. Ball comes around, flips out to show that uh, he doesn't want to follow through with this ball, and Spitzel tries to throw it in, and he does unfortunately put it right at the defender. Normally, I don't focus too much on mechanical things so much as overall game sense and positioning, but right here, one thing I want to point out um, is that you jump really early for this aerial. So you've already jumped where this ball isn't going very high, and because you're so high, it's going to make it really awkward to put this ball well in position. Um, right now, if you can hit anywhere here on the net, it's going to be really hard for this goalie to save since he's all the way back here, or at least it'll be harder. But because you've jumped so high so early, you've taken away that possibility. So just be aware when you have more space, because if we play this through just one more time from here, you can see that the other guy just left out this way. So he's nowhere near the play, and you really do have quite a bit of time here. So yeah, just jumped a little early. Happens. Clean recovery on the inside of the goal though. That's what we like to see. There we got Tim coming in on defense. This comes in. So you want to be careful going for this kind of touch. First of all, coming into this, I'd love to see you picking up more boost. We can even go from the beginning, and you can see you pick up this one pad, which is nice. Come around, and now decide to kind of flip out of the play, which I think is nice to tell Smits that you're not looking to stay on this ball. But the way that you flip, you end up flipping in a direction that you miss this pad here. You don't go wide enough to pick up this pad. You do get this one. You don't go quite far enough back to pick up the one back here. And you do get this one. But note, like where you could probably have about 40 to 50 boost, you have 23. And that makes it a little more awkward on this touch. But at this point, Snailman is already pretty much, by the time you hit the ball, committed towards the boost. And Golden's all the way back in net. So if you come forward here, you can get a little touch and just bring this ball forward to set yourself up for a nice shot on net, or even give a tap this way to give a nice hook shot. But by flipping into this ball, you kind of just give it straight to Golden, and you'll see he kind of gathers possession right off this back wall. You do get a boost steal, though, which is nice. And the fast turn is clean. Spetzel's going to be back up for this ball. And we'll see that. This coming through. He's awkward. Good flip. And we'll notice missing a pad there. And you kind of don't really pick up any more pads after that last one. So I'd love to see a little bit of more specific pathing on the way back. And what I mean to say there is just if we look from the top view, you go up for this ball here, and then we come along here. So ideally, what you want to be doing is taking either this guy, and just coming straight down the middle, or this guy, this guy, this guy, maybe that guy. Like, depending how the ball goes, you might snake between these, or you might go full speed and take the semicircle around this way, gathering somewhere around 60 to 70 boost as you do that. And so making sure that you pick up these pads as well on the way through. And if we let this play through, we can notice that's not the case, unfortunately, but it is what it is. Then once again, with this touch, a little rushed from Tim, and hopefully you guys don't get too bored of me yelling at you guys for boost, but it's really important. So you notice you come in, you're looking for the demo here, but you don't grab this guy. We need that 12. Then you missed that one. You didn't continue all the way through to get the other one. So where you could have about 30 boost, you have 9. You don't grab that one in the middle there. And you do grab that one on the side. But notice how you keep yourself at, you have 9 boost at the time of hitting this ball. And that means that you feel awkward and you have to flip into it. So this is the ball where you have a little more time and you can easily take a touch here. Given where they are, if you were able to boost a little more and get under this, you can bring it out this way or maybe force a 50. Or even if you don't flip, come into this, pop it against the back wall and try to set some, and then give yourself time to get boost. But by flipping into this ball with no boost, it basically gives away possession because we know that we just saw Smitzel flip away this way. Basically gives possession straight to Golden if you do hit it straight out into this wall. And because you flipped, your recovery is going to be slower to actually be able to follow up on that next play. Main takeaway from this part here is just making sure that you're getting those boost pads. And you can see you flip sideways in this ball. If Snailman took his time, if we were to just look from his perspective, he's really, I don't think he had to flip into that, but he chose to. Like right now, if he, instead of boosting forward like this, he just waits to go for this touch, he basically has control of this ball, but he goes for the boost steal instead. I don't know if I agree with that, but it works. And as a result, you get this ball again, but you probably shouldn't be. And then it forces you to make this play without boost. We'll look at this catch from Smitzel. My game's frozen. That's not what you want. Only 30 seconds into the... Oh, we fixed it. We did it, boys. So we're going to get back to Smitzel here. And so this ball comes up. I don't know how I fixed that, but that's a bug that happens. It does a good job to dodge the demo from Snail. And so normally I'd say not to go this high on the wall, but you go there for the dodge. And that is 100% fine. Unfortunately, not quite as strong a touch as you would have liked, but Tim is there to follow this up. And almost puts it on. And then this touch. Okay, so I'll let this play through. So off this ball, I know everything's happening really quickly. But we got to work on not rushing for it. So right now, we just saw one opponent fly out this way, or drive out this way. And the other one is in the net, stuck facing the back wall. What that effectively means is that with 68 boost, this should be a goal every time. And what I'd like to see you do is come into this and just get that hook shot. If you put it anywhere here on target, it is basically a free goal. But instead, it looks like you're going for some kind of double touch pass off the corner, which is just way less effective. What I'm going to do here is put it into our free cam, and we can see, look, the net is super open here. If you go from this perspective, as long as you put it at that back corner, Snailman is in the net trying to have some fun with Timchewbarker in the corner. And Golden is not in any position to save a ball on target. So yeah, just be aware of those balls because this touch doesn't really do anything for you. And so Tim's nowhere near being in position to follow up a pass right now. And I don't know if he specifically should be. You should be able to put this ball on target. That's what it is. You get a clean recovery. He's already gone. Look, there he is. And this puts us back at Tim. So Tim's now alone. He's going to be trying to hold this ball back. Goes for a nice 50. And Smitzel's up real quick to get onto the ball. I like to see it. Now, this is really similar to what we saw earlier from Smits. Tim, you're jumping super early. One opponent just went for a 50 in the air with Smits. He landed behind you, and he's pretty out of the game. The other one is somewhere back here. You can't even see him on the screen, so you've got so much time, and you're already up on this ball. You could easily keep driving and give yourself time to place this shot, get a good contact, and put this on net hard. As a result, because you've rushed this shot, you end up hitting the top of the ball a bit with your wheels, and it's not quite hard enough to get the win. Even though you could have probably taken a touch and slowed that down to set up a strong power shot if you wanted to. Not the end of the world. That being said, here we continue the fun game we like to play of let's count the boost pads. So we got one. We had one in the middle there. We did get the second one, but for some reason we flipped over the third one, not grabbing that. Third one, fourth one. And so we have 36, not grabbing the one even in the net here, where we could probably have around 60. It's not the end of the world, but you want to be careful that when you're coming out of the boost, out of the goal there, and you're coming down the middle, you want to be going down the middle because it's as fast as possible, but you need to be grabbing the pads because even though in this specific instance, at this point, you haven't needed them, it limits your opportunities and it limits the options that you have when you do get the ball. So we will see that. You do grab the one pad here. Even this turn, really early, just go that extra couple centimeters to pick up that pad in the middle and then set yourself up in the net. Because that just gives you that extra 12 boost to work with, which doesn't sound like much, but can make a big deal. And then you didn't grab that pad either. So now you're down to 0. You only had about 37 boost total there, and now you're down to 0. So it's really awkward to challenge this ball. You didn't grab this pad here, but I don't hate that. That's all right. You chose to challenge from the goal side, and I respect that. But as a result, you now have no boost, and this is a phenomenal pass down from Smits. And I love to see that kind of passing. My only comment sideways there is, since I know you guys are a party and you always play together, having that communication to say, if Tim, you call out that you have no boost and you can't go for this, Smits, if you know that Tim has no boost, you can see Golden's committing to this corner. Snailman is backwards and he's back here. You don't have to go fast here. You don't have to throw it straight up to Tim. If you get a touch on the ball to bring it this side, there is so much open space on the field for you to work with, and you can bring it this way and then maybe come around it and just hook shot it back up to Tim. By that time, maybe he's got boost. Or just go for a dribble and try to flick it onto the backboard, flick it onto the goal. You don't have to bang this away right away. I'd love to see you taking advantage of that in the situation like this where Tim doesn't have enough boost to follow because he can't. And you can see it kind of does give away possession, and Snailman does get this clear, which does end up being awkward for you here, but not awkward enough. And so we end up with 12 boost here. Probably missed a couple pads, but I won't rub your nose in it this time. This ball comes out. And good job picking up the pads here. I don't know if I have any comments on Tim's touch here. We're getting super nitpicky here, but I hope that's okay. So we got the full boost. Must be nice. Setting up for the shadow, that's clean. A little bit of a hard touch. Try to keep those low when you can, but not the end of the world. Here, now Smits is going to be there. Oh, and then this touch. So, Smits, I know you're low boost there, and you do get a nice dunk. But with this kind of ball, one thing I love doing is see how you jump. Once again, you jump really early, and now you're hitting this ball with like your spoiler. You're kind of going for that booty touch. I want to see the booty pop. So, what I'm talking about is basically like you could even flip forward there. You don't really need to, but just instead of jumping so early, wait until your car's about here under the ball, and then do the flip so that on the way up, the tail end of that long Dominus just throws the ball high. Because right now what you're looking to do is buy time, and flipping into the ball like this, like he's not challenging right away, and this kind of just gives him the ball. And you're lucky he's backwards. Probably expecting a bit of a harder hit, but if he doesn't touch this, he can just take control, and there's not much you can do. So just be aware, if you put that high, you can get more free points that way. this comes out. Nice touch going for the infield pass, trying for the demo. I like to see that. Good choice not to turn right away on this. I like to see that. One thing I will say is that you do rotate really far off of this. So we can notice that you missed this mid boost. I think you missed this next one here. So you could be at 24 where you are at, or sorry, at 35 where you are at 11. But, so yeah, we didn't grab that one. We did grab the middle one. We didn't grab this one. And we didn't grab the one to the right there. You could have been at about 50 boost and just been able to either challenge on the wall or just shadow closer on the wall. But by committing to this back boost here, you just let him grab the mid. You just let him grab his mid boost and come off the wall. This is, if he's good in free play, you're giving him a free play shot here. So maybe a little too far to jump off. I like that you jumped. You realize you should have challenged. Thankfully, he's awkward. You kind of made your double jump made him throw the ball away, which is awesome. And Smitzel's super ready to take this out for the big clear. And it is a solid clear, but once again, this is a scenario to be aware. I guess you're a little low on boost. You can see coming back, going for the bump. This is a weird time to go for the bump because Tim doesn't have any safe way to challenge this ball, and you're just you're just wasting some of your boost and also delaying your return back on defense. I'd much rather see you coming back, and if you wanted to, go for a bump on this guy that's got the ball, or hit the ball away from him, or just come back and get ready with boost to help your teammate. Because here you're kind of just leaving Tim and saying, oh, well, I hope you can win a 1v1 because I'm not there for you. And you want to be there for him, you know? Poor little Tim. So you get beat to this boost, now you have 0. So your only way to get back is pick up pads. You end up grabbing 2, which isn't too bad. But if you had gone straight back right away, you'd already be set up in net here, and it would be a lot easier to, if once he has missed, get a touch on this ball and take control. Because right now, if you can get a touch and bring this ball down the field, go for a hook shot or set up a ground play, Golden can't challenge this right away, especially with his car pointed like this. And Snailman just used a bunch of boost in the air. He's landing off the wall. He's going to take some time before he's ready to challenge this again. And thankfully, Tim didn't fully challenge. He just grabbed full boost. And so you guys could have a 2v1 here, but instead you hit this ball away. That was a lot of rambling. Sorry about that. But hopefully it made sense. So given the fact that you only had 24 boost, I don't hate this hit. But you definitely, even with 24, could have probably let the ball land on you taking control. And if you did choose to go straight back instead of going for the little demo bump on Golden, you could have very easily had a much stronger opportunity from here. Noticing that you guys have probably had 2 to 3 relatively open net opportunities so far this game that you haven't been able to capitalize on, where the other team actually hasn't had much. You guys have been really strong on defense, which has been good to see. So there, flipping through, we did get the 1 pad, which is nice. We're going to grab this one and turning for the fake challenge. Once again, missing a couple pads there. But a nice touch by Tim in the corner is enough to buy some time. Ball goes up. And we're going here. Good job committing, not overly pushing forward. And a great attempt at the mid pass. Tim almost able to capitalize on it. Nice. Good choice to turn after grabbing the mid boost. A solid touch on that ball. So we're going to keep following here. Wait for that touch. Ball goes across. Very nice. Bang. Big passing plays. Love to see it. Very good work. We've been on Tim for a little while. We'll just chill here. I really like that aerial. Way to just put balls on target, make it awkward for him. And here, very good job grabbing these pads and sticking around the middle. A mistake would have been to go and commit all the way out for the mid boost, but you're choosing to come around here, and that's really awesome. I like to see that. We'll switch to Smitzel's perspective, just because he probably feels a little left out here. This ball comes up, he pops this up. Ooh, nice try for the ball off the wall, going for the super fast play. I can respect that. He's coming around, setting up in the goal. Careful not to push too far forward. There we go. Good control. He's slow to this. Let's see the flick. Yeah. Good try for the flick. I don't know how I feel about you going up for this, and the reason for that is that I'd like to watch this from Tim's perspective to kind of see where this might have been an awkward position. A little more awkward than it needed to be. So Tim, once again, when you're rotating back into the net, make sure you grab that little pad. Second time we've seen that happen straight up, and it's not a big thing, but 30 is much nicer than 18 for the boost. But we do grab this pad, which is nice. And so right now you got 40, and you got some speed, and you're kind of boosting, ready to go up. And then you see as soon as you see Smitzel start to jump here, you end up having to slow down. And you've already used some boost. If Smitzel just keeps going forward here, you've got a pretty free hit on this ball to pop it probably off the back wall in towards the middle. The reason that's a good play is because Snailman has already started to push up. He's got momentum going this way, and Golden's stuck on this wall. He's effectively out of this play. So if you get this touch and throw it middle, Smitzel can pick up probably 1 to 2 pads, and he's good to score what is pretty much an open net. Potentially your 4th goal of the game so far. 4th good opportunity. But by going for this little touch, Smitzel has forced Tim to kind of slow down. This gets really awkward. If you full boost here and get the right air roll shot hitting the ball right here, maybe you still score here. But that's a lot harder to read. It gets a little awkward for you. It is what it is. Ball's coming across. Smitzel's committing back, which is nice to see. Grabbing the boost. A nice try for the touch. So making sure to grab, once again, making sure we grab pads is important. And it looks like you're going for the soft little touch to kind of buy time on the wall. Put it up the wall. Not a bad choice. You just got to make sure that if you go for that, the ball does hit low on the ball so it goes up, as opposed to hitting high where it comes out. Probably just a little mechanical error, not the end of the world. Comes up. And then they end up putting the ball in the net. And the main thing here is also, Tim, you come in really straight up to the near post. If you set up back here for this ball, maybe not all the way back here, coming in like this, that gives you more room to be able to double jump and get up there to this ball. But because you're so far forward, pretty much any ball that's put here in this part of the net is pretty much a free goal. It's going to be really hard to save that. So in terms of your positioning, try to make sure you're coming around here. And if we watch this from Tim's perspective, just for the fun of the game, you see this just flies up. And you still could get this with a double jump, but it'd be a lot easier from back here. So close. Unfortunate. 1-0, still 2 minutes left. Easy comebacks, alright? Classic kickoff. Sometimes you want to flip away from the ball on the kickoff. I hear that is the strategy from down under. And, way to go sometimes. Unfortunate. Hard to read that. Not much you can do. I like the attempt. And so now we're just going to come in for the next goal. And one thing I like here is that Smits, you choose not to flip at all into this kickoff. I think that's kind of funny. But I like the safe route. Isn't it? It's not too bad. Works out. Almost get a goal straight out of it. Did I say almost? I meant you get a goal straight out of it. This is a great pass. Great heads-up play. Tim's there and you get that touch with the spoiler. Just phenomenal play. Let's watch it through Tim's perspective as well, just because that's nice positioning. So you're grabbing the pads, not committing out, sticks in, and bang. Boomer into the net. Only thing I'd say you could do better, and is just because I like criticism. If you can find a way to put it, to touch that further back this way, but that's going to be really hard to do. Honestly, the way you hit it, you get a lot of power, and that works out really well. The only issue is if Golden's super fast and he's godlike, it is kind of straight at it. This goes out. And there we are. So we're back to 2-1. It's a nice comeback for the boys. Coming in. Smitzel should be next onto this ball. We'll come back in. This ball is up. Good choice. Like, not to go up. You don't need to dive in for that. You guys can set up here. Tim takes control. And as I say, don't dive in. The ball's up. For what is almost a really close try. Let me see a nice try for the double. The only thing I'd say here, from a competitive point of view, I love that you guys are trying to clip. Or just trying to get these hits. Putting this ball high is a really good choice. My only concern is, like, you've got two options. Either you're trying to put it nice high and hard on the backboard to make them waste boost, or you're trying to pop it high slowly so that you can follow it up. And so if you want to pop it high slowly for the follow up, you probably don't want to jump into this ball. You want to let it hit your car as it hits the ground, and then it'll fly right up. And your run up for this is actually perfect if that's what you wanted to do. But because you choose to jump, you choose to actually fully flip here, it makes it really hard for you to actually get up in time for this ball. And so I give you kind of two main options to think about here. Is like, if you want to try to go for that double touch, you want to go for that clip, try not flipping into this ball and just kind of just drive into it and get that timing. So that you could be jumping right now to follow this ball up. And that is super scary for the other team to deal with. And then if you do choose to flip in for it, one thing you could do is, instead of jumping, keep driving, get the demo and Snailman. Sets up Smitzel for a free goal, and it keeps your wheels on the ground, keeps you ready to go for the next play. Because you can see, you can go for a bump on him on the wall or something like that. Or even go for the boost steal if you got that boost from Golden, maybe got a demo on him. So it does work out. And then Smitzel now, he's like, oh, Tim, you can go for something? I'm going to go for something. And nice try for the double touch. Almost there, just not quite enough speed on the hit. Which happens. I would have loved to see the pads taken back here. You already had a bunch of boost and you were already supersonic. So if you grab the pads, you can get back to net with about 50 boost left. As opposed to, actually, if you grab this, by the time you get back to net, okay, you still got 91. Not too bad. A lot of people will grab the mid boost and then use a bunch of boost on their way back, and that doesn't make sense. But grabbing the pads would have kept you closer to this play to maybe get an easier follow-up off of this ball. Tim goes for the 50. You gotta see pads, man. There's one. There's two. Good dodge on the demo. Ball's coming in. The pre-jump almost has it. And it's all good. And here's Smitzel. Big jumps. Be careful on the rotation back. It just looks like you really brought yourself right into the back post here. It makes it awkward. Depending how you know this ball is going to go, if you wait a little further back, you can try to set yourself up. I don't know if it's the right play. But if you're coming back here, you can actually get onto the back wall for it. Or coming back in like just more like this, you might be able to more easily get the read on the back wall. But by coming in right here, you're literally right under the wall where the ball is going to hit, and that makes this touch super awkward. So choice of pathing here could make this touch easier. No matter what, it's going to be an awkward touch. It's a high ball on the back wall. Well placed by Golden. So it is what it is. But also, actually, you can notice before you jump for this, you actually give yourself backwards momentum, reverse momentum. And so actually, I'd say double jump here from a standstill. You notice you like back up, and that actually is part of why you miss the ball. You end up having to use boost to give yourself forward momentum again, and that's super awkward. The small things. But this is a great touch. And that's actually really close to the booty pop I was talking about earlier, just enough to get it over Golden and buy yourself some time. This isn't a threatening ball in the corner. Good challenge by Tim. Good challenge by Smitzel. The boys are back. And so this is a bit of a scramble. I was going to say low boost, but this actually isn't too bad so far. 47, grabbing the pad. Going for a heavy touch. Bit of a heavy first touch. You don't have to take that straight down the middle. You could take it towards the side if you wanted to. Choosing to bring it, you could, depending how worried you are of the guy behind you coming in for a bump, jump, side flip, hit the ball around there to send it up the wall to be able to set something up. Or even just that soft touch this way instead of putting it straight down the middle. Because putting it down the middle, makes it really hard to attack. One thing that Johnny Boy always emphasizes in 1v1s and just is really important in any kind of 1v1 situation is making sure that you're not attacking straight at the net. You want to be attacking a little off with an off angle because that'll give you the opportunity kind of to change the direction of the ball to put it anywhere on target. By taking this first touch straight at the net, if let's say you get the first touch and you're able to go for another touch, the other player doesn't take the ball, you take away, like, there's no way you can really change the direction of this ball to put it on target now. Where if you touch that ball more this way, you can come around it and you can actually change that direction to maybe hit it this way, maybe hit it more towards that side, maybe hit it higher. It gives you a lot more maneuverability and versatility with your touches. So here, getting beat to that. If you're getting beat to that ball and you can tell, it was hard to tell there. Just be careful about flipping into that because now you're taking yourself out and it's a 2v1 for them. And almost a huge goal for Snail. But great speed to get the save and to keep yourself in the game. I like that you tried to slow it down and go for the dribble touch. Unfortunately missed, but it's not a big deal. And good little bumps. Big turn, tries to get in the way. Smitzel with the challenge. Works out. Thankfully he passes you the ball. And we got a nice little touch out of it. So nice goal, 17 seconds left. That's what we like to see. One thing there, like, you don't super have to hit that. You could have potentially tried to take control. And I know Snailman was there, but try to bring it out this way with you or just take the 50 with him and let it pop up. Those are options that might not have been the worst. Because right now you're kind of giving possession to Snail. To Golden, rather. And you get lucky that he decides to hit this ball straight at you, but you probably shouldn't have. And this shot has a lot of power. It does end up going in. I think it was savable for Snail, though. And so what potentially you could have done differently. And this play is really good all the same. But one thing you could have done differently is instead of like full boosting into this ball, get a little tap middle and then come around it and throw it towards this side of the net with power on the bounce. That almost gives you a guaranteed goal from this perspective, where that was very much central on the goal, and it gave him, he could have saved that. But it is what it is. Now we have Tim coming in for another kickoff, and it all goes well. This ball comes up. Smitzel's going for the clip. Can he follow it up? Big 50s. Oh, Tim with the rush touch. Smitzel with the touch. We're panicking, boys. And this ball comes up. And very lucky Snailman didn't put this on target. That very well could have been the game. So my only concern here, and we'll go off to Smitzel for the kickoff here. So really nice. Grabs the boost. This pops up. Looks like you're trying to pop it up to go for something, which is not bad. Tries for the 50, gets the 50. Awesome. No boost in the corner. So Tim, when you're going for this ball, you already know that Golden is just taking this corner boost and that Smitzel is probably low boost because you just came off the wall. So you're going for this. You end up getting the miss. This touch, you just got to make sure that you get a hard touch if you're going to get it. But I say this, just be careful about these attacks, Tim. So this ball goes up. Oh, we went not far enough back. Sorry about that. So this goes, once again, solid kickoff. Grab the ball from the middle. This is up. I'd say just hang out here. And if you're going to go for this, you need to know now that you're going for this ball. Instead, you can see you wait really long. And it might have been better to even wait a little further back to see what happens off of Smitzel's touch, just because there's so little time left. It gets really awkward. But I like to try for it. It just could have gotten super awkward because that's all on Snail to put it on target. This comes up, ball's coming in, and it looks like we're blessed by the kickoff gods themselves. Great kickoff by Tim, once again. If you guys ever get the choice, one person or the other taking kickoffs, definitely pick Tim. He's got all the angles figured out. But yeah, so that's the end of the game. We got a little overtime, only 2 minutes or 2 seconds, and all in all, really solid game. You guys had offensive pressure for the better part of this game, and you guys played it really well. On the defensive end, it was super solid. Aside from the one real goal, which really came down to panicking on low boost, as well as a bit of a near post rotation into the net, which happens. Main things I say you guys should try to work on is just be aware of the boost lanes and make sure that you're passively picking those up. And so when I'm talking about the boost lanes, this might be super basic, might not. I know you guys are champ level players and you probably know what I'm talking about, but you want to make sure that when you're coming back, you've got 3 options for boost. And I don't know how this got changed, but it did. So you got this one. This is like the fastest route, number 1. You got number 2, which is going to be coming around this way, and it's all mirrored on both sides of the net. And then you got number 3, which is grabbing the big pad, going straight to where Smitzel is right now. That was 1, that was 2, that was 3. There are 2 right there. And so you just want to make sure that when you're taking your route back, you're trying to take one of these 3. And even like as you start your rotation, start to think, do I want 1, 2, or 3? 1, 2, or 3. Pick one and stick with it. Most of the time, you're going to be sticking between 1 and 2, especially in 2s, because you need to stay close to the ball and you can't afford to go back on this long line to the corner to the side boost. But just making sure you're grabbing those and getting used to picking up pads wherever you can. And then if you work on the pads and then work on just being aware when you have that space. It didn't happen too much. There are a couple of good opportunities that we could have had. If you notice, pay a little more attention to where the opponents are positioned, as well as how much space you have on the field. And that'll give the opportunity to be able to throw a couple more balls on target. You guys easily could have had probably about 4 goals in the first 3 minutes. And instead, there was 2 goals against in the first 3 minutes. So it is what it is. It happens. All in all, fantastic game. Yeah, if anyone's wondering, they got this replay analysis through asapweekly.com. This is the 30-minute replay review tier, and I'm Elias. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a good one.